Hey guys, it's Ed, your Minister of Adventures, and this is Divers Getting Coffee, featuring divers sharing diverse experiences across the ocean tribe. Let's go. Hello.
Boom.
There you go. I hear you now. It's good.
What's going on, bro?
Oh my, I was just going through a little bit of a technical issue there, but we're up now. We're good. How are you?
Yeah. Man, I'm doing all right. Just another day, another dollar. Another day, another dollar.
How's it going down under?
Actually, pretty good. Actually, they're operating here at full capacity now. Like, there's no COVID cases in Perth, well, Western Australia, last time I checked, and yeah, they're pretty much functional, back to normal here.
Are you on the West Coast or on the East Coast? Are you in Perth or like Brisbane or Sydney?
I'm in Perth.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you're like 2 hours from Bali, right? Because pretty much every Australian I met in Bali was from Perth.
Yeah, actually, it is pretty close. I haven't looked at any flights from Perth, but I think it is pretty close.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I'm actually based in Brisbane though. I'm only here in Perth temporarily, so I'm like on a contract.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tomorrow afternoon for you. I'm talking to you in the future and back in the past, but that's how we do it. Divers Getting Coffee.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
I gotta tell you, you got some dope shots and content, and just seeing you. First of all, Marine vet. Thank you for your service, brother.
You're welcome, bro.
Thank you. What? So, were you ever stationed in California, Pendleton, or?
No, I did do my MOS training in 29 Palms, which that was the most memorable experience. Yeah, I was never stationed out in California though.
Oh, that's what's up. But shout out to you. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you doing what you did. And hey, they say there ain't no such thing as an ex-Marine. You're just a Marine that's not on duty.
Right, Marine for life, as they say.
So you're an expat in Australia. Why Australia? I gotta ask you first.
Oh, it was it wasn't like okay. So it started. Okay, so it started when I was on during my gap year. I ran out of money. I ran into a traveler. It's like, oh, go to Australia, work on a farm. You make good money. The visa's easy. I'm like, okay, working on a farm in Australia. All right.
You're like, for real?
Yeah, I was kind of skeptical a little bit. I was like, but a farm, I never worked on a farm before in Australia. I was like, that sounds cool. So let me go check it out. So I ended up filling out my visa, ended up going there. I was like, oh, it's cool. I mean, granted, I only did the farm work for like 2 weeks, and I said, oh, hell no. But on my way there, my travels there, I went through Brisbane. I was like, oh, Brisbane is cool. Like, nice little city. I don't know why I had this whole depiction of Australia as being like this big desert, tumbleweeds and just venomous reptiles and dangerous shit that's ready to kill you.
So I'm trying to kill you.
Yeah, I promise you, National Geographic did not depict Australia in a positive light for some reason. It just makes it.
Steve Irwin.
Right, I promise. But yeah, so and I love the area, and I ended up getting a work visa, and working there for a little bit, and in Northern Territory. And I was like, oh, I can stay here. So my partner ended up getting a job transfer here, just by coincidence, and ended up moving to Brisbane. And he's like, now we're here. Yeah.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. I like how you checking out options, and they're like, yeah, just go to Australia. You're like, really? I could do that? For real?
Yeah, I can just up and go and just work in Australia. Like, okay, why not?
That's awesome. How did you get into diving? Did you start that out in Australia? Did you start that in the service? How did you get into diving?
To be honest, I was on a cruise ship, and you know how they have the excursions. It was like, I think maybe 6 years ago. They had like the excursion you could do this. Oh, discover scuba diving. I'm like, oh, okay. That looks cool as well. You know what I'm saying? For me, I always keep an open mind with with things. You know what I'm saying? I don't have like expectation when doing certain things. Like I don't have my fears or anything like that. So I just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna jump right in. So it's kind of like, oh, they have the dive, and I'm gonna go for it. So that's what I did. And I ended up doing a discover dive in the Cayman Islands, and I was like, I was like, this is cool. This is dope. I was like, oh man. Until I saw the price of getting open water certified, I was like, okay, maybe I can wait a little bit because I don't have the kind of money yet. And it wasn't until like maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, where I was in a trip to Mexico, and I was like, all right, I'm in a better place now. I'm gonna get ahead, and the diving was the open water cert was pretty cheap, like 300 something bucks, something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this. So I ended up just being certified, and then here we are.
That's actually a good point, because it's a bit of a steep commitment financially in America, or even places like Cayman Islands. But I mean, having your first dives in the Cayman Islands, I think that's what just sealed it in. Like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Right, exactly, exactly. And it was not only it's the price that kind of gets you that kind of I guess stop you from getting diving as well. And then when you're on vacation, it's like you don't want to take out 3 days to go study and do these dives. It's like I want to go on vacation. I'm here for like maybe a week or a few days. Like I don't have time to dive.
Yeah.
But this trip was like designated as like, okay, I have a whole week and a half. I can knock out 3 days. I can do this. So I mentally prepare myself for it. So yeah.
Absolutely, but I'm glad you got into it, because you were sharing some great content out there. And then I was just reading the interview you had with Adrian Jones, I think. AJ every day. It was really cool. Just seeing kind of how you started and got into it. And it's pretty cool. And you get into a lot of things, not just scuba diving. You get into a lot of like skydiving. You get into everything. But
I try my best, man. I try. Life is short, bro. Life is short.
I know.
Like I said,
yeah, we'll try to. If we try to go into everything you did tonight, we'll probably just take all night. But now, when you started diving, it was cool that you checked it out, did the Discover Scuba. It's one of those things where you do, and you either love it or hate it. If you just do it, you're like, man, you're like a serial killer or something. So, so I'm glad you got in, and you're like, I'll take care of this later, and then you went over and still got it done eventually. So it's great. Now, I gotta ask you, did you have any challenges when you started? And how did you overcome that?
Initially, it was pretty easy, like, getting like the basics down. It wasn't until I got my my advanced course, where it was like, okay, well, we got to do navigation. And let me tell you, navigation, speaking from my military experience, is not my strongest suit. Even just in my personal experience, it's not my strongest suit. I get lost walking down the street. So when they told me, hey, here's the watch, here's you go here and this, and you do the dial and everything. I'm looking at that like, I'm gonna tell you now, I hear you. I understand. And no, actually, I don't understand. But I hear you. But it's, for some reason, my brain's not processing this. So when I part of the course is like, I think they kind of they literally like held my hand the whole time. It was like, hey, we're gonna go like a triangle or something like that. I think they had like, we're gonna go here and then we're gonna turn here. And I was like, okay, well, at first I was like getting lost. I was like, I don't know where the hell I'm going. And then so I ended up coming back around, and my instructor was like, okay, I'm gonna he held up, like not really held on to me, like was kind of like down beside me. He's kind of like telling me, he's like, okay. And I'm like, not understanding shit. I'm like, okay. So he kind of, to be honest, it was kind of like a double-edged sword, because like, he passed me, and I fully didn't understand how to, do navigation to even now, so it's definitely something I'm really going to dive into whenever I do my dive master's internship. So
yeah,
because I can't be here getting lost.
I feel you. It's funny. I can relate to that, because it wasn't my strongest suit when I started, and I was able to get through most of it. Just go through the basics, and then I started doing my dive master program. And part of the dive master program was to actually teach other people. I'm like, oh, I got to teach you guys. Ooh, ooh, yeah. So that made me go kind of like read up on it. And I ended up on a dive trip that I was, at the time, I was kind of the most, I don't know how it happened. I was I was the highest certified diver, not necessarily the most experienced, but I was with a bunch of people that were recent open water. And in California, the dive masters don't go out with you. You're kind of like, here's your dive site. Don't go there. Don't go there. Go here. Go here. Come back in, 50 minutes, an hour, whatever. And we got in the water, and these guys were like, we're looking at you to know what the hell you're doing. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So that was
wow.
That was actually when it sunk in for me, because I kind of use the combination of just landmarks or underwater marks, and yeah, that's when it started to like really, okay, 290 degrees, all right, the boat's that way. I could kind of figure out the exact opposite that way. Okay, so that's when it really sank in, and I'm glad it clicked. I guess sometimes in desperate moments, your brain just has a way of like, you got to figure this out, or you're going to be responsible for these people. So I completely feel you on that one. How's that working out for you? Have you been, I'm trying to remember the name of this guy in Band of Brothers, David Schwimmer's character, who could never figure out what to wear. I don't remember his name, but yeah. How's that going for you? Have you been catching up on, how to navigate properly, or working on it?
No. No, I haven't. Just to be honest, my recent dives has just been like, it hasn't really called for me to, to do any navigation. Like I said, I'm really gonna practice it whenever, because I'm trying to around February, I'm trying to go move to Honduras to do because they have in Utela, they have a nice dive site. And so I want to do my internship there. And then I'm just going to practice while I'm there. But as of right now, I'm just going to try to enjoy. But I get lost. But yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you learn, like, mask removal. How many times do you ever do it? Not a lot, but if you have to do it, you want to be able to do it. But Honduras is absolutely awesome. When this pandemic started, I was actually in Honduras, in Utila, actually a day after I got there. My partner, actually, my girlfriend, she was there getting she had gone to do open water advance. She was a day away from getting her rescued, and the lockdown started. I got in, and they're like, nope, no fun for you. Then we're actually kind of, I was going to say, they're like, go back to America, but no, they're like, no, you're stuck here now. But
how long were you stuck there for?
A week. Well, like an extra week. It wasn't too bad. Okay. We found a private charter on a WhatsApp group and eventually made it out. But it wasn't actually a bad place to be stuck at, so it was cool. Utila was fun. Honduras, what's it called? Roatan was pretty cool, but it's a great great dive community. It reminds me of Gili in Indonesia. Like, if you're not there as a diver, what are you running from? You're probably Jason Bourne or CIA or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I'm looking forward to it.
How's it diving in Australia? Have you gone diving? Wait, first of all, have you gone diving in Perth, in that area? And obviously, how is it diving in the other part, like Brisbane or and the sure, I'm trying to say Grand Cayman. No, the Great Barrier Reef.
Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, I did the Nagaloo Reef, the Nigaloo. I can't pronounce the Nigaloo Reef. I think.
So the first time they told you about it, you were like, the nigga who? Wait.
Right. At first it's like, exactly. I gave them that look. I was like, Nagaloo Reef? To me, it's pronounced Nagaloo Reef, but I mean, I let you get away with the Nigaloo Reef. But hey, so Nigaloo Reef, there you go. But now, I heard so many, prior to me even diving there, I heard so many great things about it. And it was one of the things that was always on my bucket list. And then when I got there, you know how your expectations high, like you just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna see all these species of coral, this sea life. It could be like great visibility, like it could be awesome, like from pictures, right? And I get there, they're still hyping it up. They're like, oh, you know, a great dive site with a two tank dive here, the Labyrinth, and some other dive sites. All right, cool. I'm looking, you know, I'm ready. Man.
Oh no.
The dive site don't even make it in my top 10. Like,
What?
It was awful, man. It was awful. Like, okay, the visibility was maybe like 8 meters, 5 to 8 meters.
Okay.
And it wasn't that great of sea life. Like, I think between both dives, you've seen 1 sea turtle, 1 white tip, 3 nudie branches, and the rest is unmentionable. That's it. I'm like, what? The coral, like most of the coral was bleached. There wasn't much sea life surrounding it. We ended up going to, now the second dive site was a Labyrinth, which the corridor, the way it was formed is like almost like a maze. So you come, I have a video, I'll post it in a few days, but it's like you kind of go in, and it looks pretty cool. So I had a video on that, but besides that, it was pretty dead. It was pretty dead. It wasn't that. I'm sorry. We also saw like I think 3 to 4 sea snakes, the olive sea snakes. But besides that, yeah, that's pretty much.
So you went in there just like, you know, just imagine what you want to imagine, you know, but enjoy the dive. There's not much you're gonna see.
Pretty much, and I was so disappointed. I was mad because I went all the way to Xmount, because Xmount is about hour and a half, 2 hour flight, and it's a desolate place. Like the only reason people go there is to do because the whale sharks, the humpback whales, they migrate there to go to Antarctica or whatever, and so you get a huge concentration of them. So a lot of people go to Xmount to dive with the whale sharks, go dive with the humpbacks, and of course the Nagaloo Reef. And so I already missed the season of the whale sharks, so that was out of the question. And I think I just missed the humpback whale season, I think. So I was only going there for the dive. So it's kind of like my only reason going there is kind of now I'm disappointed, you know. So I was kind of mad, and then it was expensive. It was just I was kind of disappointed. Now they did tell me about the Navy Pier, which is probably like one of the best on land, onshore dive, like you go from the shore, onshore dive, whatever.
The shore dives, yeah.
Shore dives, yeah. So I'm like, I just spent money on this dive. I was like, I didn't want to come out and spend money on this, and it's not up to par. So I was like, I didn't want to risk it. So I was like, nah, I'm going now. Thank you. So yeah.
You're like, if the boat dives this, you know, man, why am I gonna do the shore dive here?
Exactly. It makes no sense. It was like it didn't make sense in my head. So that was Perth. I didn't do any diving in Brisbane yet. But I done the Great Barrier Reef. That was again disappointing, which I understand. It's understandable. Most of the
right.
The coral been bleached and, you know, just dead. So I already expected it to not to be like, you know, this great Little Mermaid, everything lobsters and everything, just plethora of sea life. I already knew that. You know what I'm saying? I already knew that wasn't gonna happen. But it wasn't that great. I did a liveaboard, a 4-day liveaboard, 10 dives. I ended up not doing the last 3 because, like I said, it's like I'm gonna see the same thing. It's like it's not that great. Now, one of the best dives I've done here so far was in Yongala, which I was highly looking forward to. That I think that had to be the most. I think that's one of my top dives now. With the Yongala is like the best shipwreck dive I've ever done. Just the history behind it, just like the story, and like just knowing that there was human remains still in the ship, and it's like, oh man, it's so cool, you know. Not even that, like just the sea life surrounding it was like it was a lot. Like you had eagle rays, you had a lot of fucking sea snakes, so much. It was so much sea life. Like it was a little bit of everything there, you know. To be honest, so octopus, a couple, I think 2-3 octopus, small though, but it was cool. It was so much sea life. The visibility was pretty good, and it was really good. So I think those are my best dives here in Australia, and just in general so far.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very cool. And in Honduras, I think it's called the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, the second largest, the one that extends all the way from like Cozumel all the way into Belize, and eventually Honduras kind of stretches out in that area. Cozumel is pretty wiped out because just, you know, way too many people. We're just too many people on it. But in Honduras and Utila, I think you're gonna really enjoy it. had some amazing dives there. I'll send you some of the footage later. It's very cool. I think you're gonna love Utila when you go out there. And that's actually cool. You know, you had some good dives. You know, had some some okay dives.
Right.
But that's part of the fun. Now you got great stories that you can tell, right?
Right.
And it also shows you, like, you know, visibly what a lot of people are trying to do with conservation and things like that. I'm not huge in it, but I try to participate when I can. I try to promote the awareness when I can, but I'm not particularly like, you know, big on it. But it's cool. Now, what's on a bucket list? What are, like, let's obviously, as divers, we have everything is on our bucket list. We want to do everything at some point, but what are the top two for you?
Top two? Well, I don't have two right now. Well, maybe I can have two. I have, well, number one is the SS Thistlegorm in Egypt. The shipwreck dive there. Supposed to be one of the best as well. And I was actually in Egypt, and I actually went to Charlemagne Shank to do the dive. But at the time, I guess the season that I went, nobody was diving there. They didn't reach the minimum divers to do the dive. So I was really disappointed in that. So I never missing out. But yeah, that's on my top. That's on my one of our bucket list items. Then the second one, I want to say the Blue Hole in Belize, just because it looks cool. But it's like I don't know what to expect there. I was like, is that even a cool dive site? But
it sounds good on paper, right?
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good. Like the Blue Hole, it leaves, like, you see this big ass nice blue. I was like, I don't know. But you know, anywhere in the Red Sea, I haven't done any dives in the Red Sea yet. So I think any dives there would just be nice. You know, I was told Israel has really nice dive sites. So I was like, I'm open to that. So I think that would have to be my top dives to do right now.
That's cool. Actually, I have something planned to go. Not Egypt, Djibouti, specifically. Okay. Then kind of maybe just go up and down the Red Sea, but that, you know, COVID, that didn't happen. How's that been affecting you? How are you holding up in this goddamn pandemic, man?
Man, yo, when I tell you this COVID has, if COVID was a person, we'd be fighting right now. I promise you, we'd be scrapping, because it literally ruined all of I had some major plans this year, man. So I actually got accepted to do the American Ninja Warrior in April. So I was supposed to do American Ninja Warrior, yes. And I had another trip to New Zealand. That was gonna be another road trip, like one of my major trips of the year I was looking forward to. And yeah, COVID just kind of like busted that wide open. Like, psych, you're not going. Just, nah.
Yeah, you know that great plan you had? Yeah, none of that's happening. But I hope you ever get back to it soon. You know, I'll be here, hyping you up. Go BJ, go BJ, go BJ.
Well, what is some of your? But wait, I know that you're a dive master though. So what was your journey becoming a dive master?
You know, it literally started as kind of off the cuff. Yeah, let me just go sign up and you know, I'll do the open water whenever I can. And that's what I wanted to do. Open water, get it, dive on, you know, vacations. And I was going through, my divorce at the time. And I was just enjoying spending my time on the water. Like, yeah. Hey, how about that nitrox? Okay. How about that advanced? Okay. How about that rescue? Okay. How about a DM? Okay. And I literally just went on and on and on and on. My first couple of years, I was probably diving pretty much every other weekend. Every weekend I don't have my kids. The only thing I do is pretty much just go dive. And I went diving in California, which is great because California diving is not it's great. It's accessible, but it's not necessarily the easiest. So, you know, you go in with like shit viz, crazy current. Some days it's really good. It's really amazing. You go in there, you love it. But then when you do that back to back, I think the first place I went diving outside of California was Iceland, Silfra, the two tectonic plates. It was pretty cool, but pretty cold. And I promised myself that I would never, ever do that again unless I'm going to Antarctica or something like that. So since then, it's been warm water dives. Nowadays, I dive maybe once every other month. Once a quarter at least, somewhere. Okay. Then in California, maybe, you know, if I'm not traveling somewhere, I'll try to put in a dive here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much how I started. I've always had that relationship with the ocean. I grew up in Lagos. Lagos in Nigeria is a beach city. It's like Miami weather with LA vibe. That's kind of how I can relate to. I can compare it. But as a kid, you go, you spend Christmas at the beach, birthdays at the beach, everything, the Easter at the beach, but you don't go in the water because you're going to die, clown. And over time, it felt more attractive because it was almost more like a taboo. Like, I want to do that. I know people do that, And then maybe 10 years ago when I moved to California, I was sailing a lot. So I was spending a lot of time on the ocean. And every time I go out, somebody is bragging about some underwater excursion. I'm like, God damn you, And one day I just signed up, like, screw this, do this. I don't care. I couldn't really swim at the time, but I figured it out along the way.
Yeah. I love it. Wait, so where did you do you did your dive master in Utah?
In California.
California, okay.
Yeah. So this January, I think we're looking at actually going to Thailand originally, but when we started hearing about COVID and the virus, whatever happens, like, yeah, maybe Southeast Asia is not out of the question for now. Then we went to Utila in March, thinking, yeah, it's close enough. It's not going to be that a big deal. Nobody expected the entire world to shut down for 6 months straight.
Right.
So my girlfriend, she did her open water, advanced open water, and rescue. Utila is basically like the Thailand of Central America, pretty much. It's Utila, the island specifically. I can't think of anything else you do there other than dive. Like if you're there, if you're not diving, you definitely running from Jason Bourne or something like that. You have to be a diver. So it was just like that, a huge dive community. And divers, they dive all day, and next they meet up at the local joints and eat barbecue and drink beer and brag about how deep they went. So that's pretty much what each was.
Sound like the life.
I know, right? And that's pretty much how it got here. Divers Getting Coffee was really just me. I like to talk and run my mouth, but I just want to connect with a lot of people, especially when this started. It was more about Black divers, but ultimately, it's about those that choose to breathe on the water and just having casual conversations like this and sharing information, teaching each other, and that's kind of how we got here.
Okay, so what do you? So are you? What do you? Okay, so whenever you did your dive master, was you looking to do anything like? Was you looking to do it professionally, or what do you do now, like professionally as your?
So yeah, I wasn't looking to do it professionally. I just had a chip on my shoulder, especially starting out. When I started, it never really crossed my mind. The concept of black diving never crossed my mind really. And most people I go diving with are pretty cool, but a few things kind of happen along the way that made me. Well, I felt like I was sort of the ambassador for black divers. At a time, I actually didn't know any black diver. I started connecting with others over time in different places around the world that I felt I just really needed to be competent. I just really needed to be a better diver. And that's why I did it. In my day life, I run a tech consultant business. I am also an actor. I run a media entertainment company. But yeah, for me, diving is more of a lifestyle than than a professional life. And I've always enjoyed keeping it that way because it's one of those hobbies where it's a passion, it's a hobby, but also it's not feeding me, so it's not paying my bills. So I can do it and not. I feel like a lot of instructors go in and 5-6 years later, they just feel like, oh my God, not this sucker again. I feel them. I mean, some people have the passion for it. I shout out to them. I just don't think I have the temperament to teach. But I like talking about it, and kind of that's why I try to be as confident as I can, and keep learning from others, keep working with divers. Every day I was talking to Ali the other day. Literally every day I think about something dive related or work on something dive related, but I've never. Well, I guess during my DM candidacy, I was kind of an unpaid worker for it, but I never really worked in a dive community.
Okay.
But it's been fun. It's been really fun.
Do you host any dive trips? Others
Not for profit. I do. I pretty much plan a lot of my the trips I go on with friends. Like let's see where we got. Cuba, Indonesia. We got one coming up in Florida. Where else did we go? Honduras was. So yeah, over the last couple of years, I've been kind of just hosting for up to 6 people, a dozen people. But yeah, it's just been basically just out of pure passion.
Right.
Out of pure the love for being on the water and showing up and talking smack.
Okay. And you have any? And what are your top 3 dive sites? I mean, well, yeah, I guess. I made it easy. I didn't say one. I gave you 3 to make it a little bit easier.
That's a good question. I'll say Bison is definitely one of them. It was really cool. And funny story about Bison. So when I dry suit was one of my specialties. A lot of people dive with dry suits here in California, but for me, I think I'm fine. I don't really dive in California as much anymore because I don't know. It's just a lot of the same thing over and over again. But when I did my dry suit cert, I did it with the intention of going to Iceland at some point. Then a couple years later, it kind of happened. I was in Iceland. The first thing, got out of the airport, and the first thing I did was went straight to Silfred to go diving. However, my buddy on that trip, I didn't know him. He just signed up for the course he was from Germany. He had just gotten his dry suit cert the day before, like literally day before he got his dry suit cert. And I, in my foolish wisdom, completely trusted him to zip up my dry suit properly. It didn't go as planned. So I walk into the water and I'm feeling like, I'm getting cold. This is not normal. Then I realize, and I go back out like, hey, can somebody else in my group check out the dry suit? And I realized he didn't zip it all the way up. I don't blame him. I actually just double checked it. I just never did. I was way too excited to try to do it. So first of all, I go in the water. I had freezing cold water. The water temperature that day was 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So right there, right next to freezing, probably just the impurities that kept it not frozen. So we go, we try to make it. I had some cold water over time. My buddy kind of warmed it up, but halfway through the dive, I thought I was going to have pneumonia and just pass out. So, it's not that long. It's 30 minutes. You have a predefined course. You just kind of go around it. But at some point I was like, the very moment I was like, you know what, screw this dive. I'm just going to surface. I see the final exit, thank God. But I come out and I couldn't feel my hands. I couldn't feel my hands for a couple of days. It was just miserable, but it was great experience. But it was also one of the most amazing dives I've ever had. There's nothing to see really. It's just, and that's what makes it great. There's nothing else to see. It's just really clear water, really cold. The fact that you're looking in between 2 tectonic plates is pretty cool. And it's one of those novelty dives you definitely want to do. You just want to do it. What else is good? Cuba was good.
You the second person to mention Cuba. So I heard it this week. Yeah.
There's a reason why. So apparently Castro was an avid diver himself. So he pretty much kept most of the country to be his own personal dive park. And the most popular place is Jardin de la Reina, Garden of the I don't know, garden of the something, all the way on the other side of the country. I went diving in Havana, Varadero, really cool beach, and the Bay of Pigs. But what I noticed in Cuba was that the coral was really healthy. Not a lot of fishing, not a lot of scuba diving. So the coral is just pretty cool. The fish are not even familiar with you enough to either want to like run away. They're like, you go in and they're more curious, like, hey, who's this? What you want? What you want? You got some, I don't know, tacos? So, it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. What's another good one? Hawaii is kind of cool. Hawaii is probably the third one.
Really? Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because just the geography of Hawaii puts it, it's thousands of feet deep on, either side of the island. And then all of a sudden you just have this random island show up, or random stream of islands show up. Then I've gone diving in Maui, in Oahu, like free diving with sharks. So you go literally like 5 minutes out into the ocean and it's 2,000-3,000 feet deep. But also that means there's a huge variation or variety of sea life that you get to see. I've never seen so many turtles in one place as I did in Maui. At one point, I looked around just 360 and counted maybe 35, 40 turtles in one spot. I'm just looking around like 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to 35, 40. Decent amount of sharks, decent amount of fish. Some places the coral's kind of struggling a little, but it's a good variety. It's a good variety. So that's been in that order, maybe like 1, 2, 3, or maybe that's how I would rate it. Obviously, other places are cool for different reasons.
Right.
But for me, those moments have been my favorites so far. For bucket list, definitely want to go out to go dive in Africa. Definitely want to go to like the Red Sea or Djibouti or other places in Africa too. One thing I know I don't want to do is like scuba dive with, giant anacondas in the rainforest. I just have no intention to do stuff like that. Would you ever do that? One of those,
it doesn't sound appealing.
I just, yeah.
It doesn't sound appealing to me. Even when you was mentioning the dry suit dive, you said there's nothing to see, but you can see the two Titanic
the tectonic plates.
Yeah, tectonic plates. Fuck, I start talking fast and I start anyway.
You're like Titanic 1 and 2.
But yeah, so it's like I was like I don't know, because the coldest dive I've done, it was in Chile, and my hands wasn't numb for days. It was numb during that dive. I was getting a headache. It's like I was getting a head cold. It was just like my feet. I couldn't feel my toes. I was like, and then it was like a kelp forest. They had like a little, they had a nice little kelp forest, but it wasn't nothing. It wasn't that memorable. If you scroll down on my Instagram, you see me just like with a blank face, like taking a picture. I'm like, I can't move my face. I can't.
Let's see.
You scroll all the way down.
And one of the cool things about diving in California is actually the kelp forest here. Man, you got so many adventures, man. Your content is dope.
Thanks, bro.
The only other place I can think of something similar would be like Cape Town, South Africa. I knew they have a deep kelp forest over there too, but I didn't realize they had a decent amount of kelp in Chile.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh, wait, go back up. Back up. Right there. That blank.
This one?
No. Go back down.
And one. This
one? That one right there. Yep. I'm looking like I can't move my face. I can't outside. I promise.
Yo, the look is priceless. You're like, God, who sent me?
I'm like, who recommended this dive again? I couldn't. It was cold as shit. Cold as shit.
Awesome. Wow.
But I never done a dry suit though. I never done a dry suit. I don't think I want to be in any cold water that requires me to have a dry suit. So I'm good.
I have this weird obsession with wanting to dive in Antarctica. That's my Nigerian accent kicking in. I don't know. Antarctica. The South Ocean. So
That'd be an experience though.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I have this weird obsession with it. I'm just not yet committed to it because it takes, you want to, take the conditions can be crazy. So you want to have months to build up to it. I just can't really, I haven't prioritized it enough to like commit to it for now, but
okay.
Hey, maybe I'll convince you to do your dry suit. We'll go do it together. Huh?
You know what, Antarctica? That's a once in a lifetime experience. Now that I may be able to do. Like, okay, it's Antarctica. No, I'm pretty sure a handful of people ever dived in Antarctica, so I'm there for that unique experience. Kind of like that exclusive. Like, oh, you dived in Antarctica? Damn.
Yeah, you're like,
type
you
of
done
thing,
that?
Right, exactly. I try to dive with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I try to do like the top dive sites. Something I can really see that particular dive site that you can't see anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff of that nature, because it's too many dive sites just to be like, oh, I'm gonna dive here, dive here. Check out like I guess zone in on particular ones that you want to do. But yeah, bro,
that'd be pretty cool. I gotta ask you, just going through your experience and getting through it and being a Mr. All Go No Quit, I'll do every different adventure in the world. What advice do you have for someone especially someone of color specifically, that's looking to get into diving, especially when we have the stigma, the stereotype of not being able to swim, which I couldn't really swim properly when I started, but that's
me neither. Me neither. Me neither. Shit, man. If I do a water excursion now, like I almost drowned. You said Gilly Island swimming in there, almost drowned in. Because like I had no fins. If I don't have fins in the water, you can forget it. I'm not going in the water. I'm not doing it. Like the minimum I need is fins. But yeah, I had no fins on. I thought I was a little bit more confident. I was like, I haven't drowned before, so I was like, maybe I am. I'm alright. Nah, almost drowned. Anyway, but my advice is, I guess, just keep open mind and toss away your fears. I think when people had that, because there's stigma with scuba diving, they think you supposed to have to be this avid swimmer. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's not even the case. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you want to be. I think you want to be more calm, like calm and confident. But I don't think, I don't swimming. Nah, not really. So I don't think my advice is, I guess, yeah, just do it. Exactly, just do it. And that's how I tackle all my activities. Just kind of like just do it. I don't really. And I think that maybe not an illness, but maybe it's something wrong with me, because I don't have no fear with certain things. Like I don't process stuff correctly. I just kind of like, I'm just gonna do this. Like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty reckless, pretty impulsive. I'm really, really impulsive, and I don't think. And there's a couple activities where it kicked me in the ass. Like, okay, maybe I need to think shit through before I go along with it.
You do it and you're like, oh wait, maybe I should have like thought about that thoroughly.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a couple, but you live and you learn, bro. You live and you learn.
Well, that's it. I mean, as long as you come back and say that's great. That's great advice. Just do it. And the reason I asked is because I started this out on IG Live, and we had people just come in and go out, and we have this guy Ernest. Shout out to Ernest. He's out doing his open water right now. He joined like a couple times, and he was like, it's kind of nice to see you guys do this. Then next IG Live, he comes like, hey man, I'm actually at my open water training right now. I'm like, oh, okay. Next thing you know, he's about to do his checkout dives and get done with it. So that's really cool. It's something like you. I don't think things through, so I just kind of did it when I did it. But I appreciate how much it can be empowering for others to kind of see us talk about diving and go, oh wait, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Right. And to be honest with you, like, you're literally the first black diver I've ever talked about diving with. No, actually, no, sorry, second. sorry, AJ, she's a diver. She was first,
right.
yeah. So I was like, it's so cool that all of my dives, I'm usually I'm always the only black person there, literally. And I'm pretty sure you had the same experience.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, it'd be nice to have a kind of different experience with other black divers, because we could just cut a rug and just but it's a different, it's a whole different culture when just diving, same people. You know what I'm saying? Like we know to turn shit up. You know what I'm saying? So I can't imagine like we on a boat and it's like we about to go diving, we just hear like talking shit and like it's just different. So.
One of the DGC alums, Huda Brown, shout out to Huda. She was on a trip in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt. Boat full of black divers, and you know how we turned up. Like after the dive, everything was turning up,
up. Nice,
But that's the whole point, having this talks about diverse experiences. At the end of the day, we're all, human beings trying to breathe where we're not supposed to be. But yeah, there are nuances to our experiences that are kind of different. I'll tell you this one. A couple years ago, I joined a dive trip to go to Cozumel. And we showed up most people showed up on the same day. It was like maybe 36, 40 divers showed up to the resort in Cozumel. And I was with a group of maybe 6, 8 people. Like on the bus, we all just kind of figure, oh, you're going to, I forget the name of the resort now. But yeah, you with this group? Yeah, oh, okay, cool. Then we show up to the front desk, and well, everybody else was white, or maybe there was like an Asian guy that came later, but everybody else was pretty much white. And they go up and check in, and you're like, oh yeah, you're with this group, let me check you in. And then I show up, and the front desk guy goes, no, this is for the divers. I'm like, oh, you mother. Hold me. I'm like, you just assumed I'm not a diver? Like, really? But it was. I don't think he was being malicious about it. It was just probably just based on experience. He probably had just never seen a black diver.
Right.
And that's a story that I don't think anybody else would have experienced, but other than us. And we're not trying to solve wall piece here. We're just having conversations over coffee,
right.
And it's important for other people to hear that, I think. So I actually didn't think about that experience until like earlier today. I remember when I was out there, I posted a story about like, oh, I forget what I said, like, oh, you think you're racist, wait till you get a Mex, but I never really went into the details of it. But a conversation earlier today actually got me thinking, oh yeah, that motherfucker. But yeah. Oh man, it's fun, and that's the whole point of these conversations. There's nothing really planned about it. It's just there's no big idea. It's just us having chats about whatever and whatever. What's it like being black in Australia?
Oh, okay. All right.
We're going on a tangent here for a little bit, but
yeah. It's how would I even describe this experience? It's different. It's different definitely than being in the States. You know what I'm saying? What I can say about my experience here in Australia, everybody says it's friendly. You know what I'm saying? I haven't experienced any, well, maybe some microaggressions, but nothing to be like, oh, they're racist type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they're just culturally oblivious. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been exposed to a lot of Black Americans or a lot of black people in general to be like, to know certain etiquettes when, approaching us or talking to us, you know what I'm saying? And it's been a lot of awkward conversations with a lot of Australians, even like my coworkers, bosses, like it's just, but overall, there's no maliciousness behind, like I said, like just how they carry themselves towards, like I said, people of color in general. I know they have a history of, Aboriginals, which I should, study on, which I should, know more about, but I haven't, really like dived into it besides like, the surface level stuff, but from my experience here, it hasn't been a bad one, I have been, like I said, it's just been more awkward and cringy more than anything, where I, for New Year's, I go to a club and it's like, they sing, at the time, I think they had, Kanye was gold digger. I ain't saying she a gold, but she ain't messing with them broke niggas. And I'm here looking around like everybody from some country saying niggas, and I'm like, wow, okay. Okay, to make it more, make it animated. The exclamation points in my around, top of my head is kind of like popping up, like okay, this is,
You're like, hold up, DJ, turn up that goddamn music. Let's talk about
right,
right
right. It was an Asian guy. It was a DJ too. It was funny. It was funny. But yeah, just awkward experiences like that, or just like the way they interact with me, like for certain my bosses, they was like, I know one time I made some guacamole for my boss, and he was like, yo, BJ, what's up? And I'm like, hey, hello, what's going on? He's like, yo, that guacamole, that shit was gangster.
You're like, really?
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, I'm glad it was. Yeah, just it's a experience like that, and then then I because they had this thing called Hip Hop Fridays and a lot of cafes where and be like, hey, I become hey, let's listen to hip hop. What do you listen to? You listen to gangster music?
Oh, so you're the go-to ambassador for it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like I don't listen to gangster music. I have my throwback hip hop and R&B. You want to listen to that? Yeah, but yeah, it's just really awkward, just really. But yeah, that was some of my experience. So, and whenever I see, and it's whenever I see another black person, I'm like literally like this. I'm happy. I'm like, oh shit, it's not. Oh shit, hey, what's up today? And they're looking like, what is going on right now?
I was reading your interview, and you nearly got ran over and tried to say what's going on.
I promise you, I'm like literally galloping around across the street, like not. I'm gonna fuck my traffic. I'm just like, oh, hey, Oh man.
Oh my god. Oh man, I got tears in my eyes. Oh, that's dope.
But I would say Australia needs more black people here. Like it's really not to say anything bad, but it's like it's really bland here. You know what I'm saying? They really I don't even know a good way to say this. It's cultureless, as far as like they don't really have they have nothing that's like just you know what I mean? Like it's just different. It's just like really bland. It's really, really bland. They need some dash of this, and just but yeah, anyway.
It's like being in Orange County or maybe Connecticut or maybe Iowa or something like that. Iowa. I totally feel you. And like you mentioned, it sometimes it's not from a place of maliciousness. It's just it's like sometimes it's like an awkward compliment too. Like, oh, I really like rap music. I really like gangster music. Okay, great. I haven't listened to that since like 2002 or something like that, right?
Yeah, then it's like, what is gangster music? Because my gangster music is what I'm saying. Because they were well, I guess anything that's different from theirs, like anything like hip hop, anything like J. Cole. You listen to anything, fucking Biggie, Tupac. That's the gangster music. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, technically, I ain't. Anyway, I digress. But
it's funny. This one time, maybe 10 years ago, one of my buddies was getting his MBA in Barcelona, and I just went over and squatted at this place for a while. And at the time, I forget what was popping at the time, but I know at the clubs they play like R&B and hip hop from like the 90s. This was maybe 2008. They'll play from stuff from like 2002. And everybody in the club like, yeah, like, this is so old. Why are you even playing this? Like, what is wrong with you? And I'll have random people just show up like, oh, yeah, you must know Tupac. Like, really? I'll take a picture, though. Like, hey, what's up, man? Such a funny experience. But and that's the thing. Sometimes it's just about educating people and having those awkward conversations. Like,
right.
Really, dude, like really, or Mr. I forget his name that didn't believe I was part of the divers. Like, stand in another line. This is for the divers only. I'm like, God damn you, motherfucker. but it's cool. I'm glad.
It's kind of like,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying in situations like that, it's like, do you get angry or just kind of like, do you just sit there with a blank stare? Like, what do you have the options? Like, you had these dialogues and that sidebar that you play games. Like, you had these, what should you do? This like little side panel.
I know. It's rough. It's rough. And sometimes, depending on what moods they catch me in, sometimes I make fun of it. Like, it happens. And instead of getting angry, I try to respond to a few years ago, I did open mic. I'm not particularly funny, but no, I'm not funny. So I just learned how to cope with things through comedy. And a lot of times I really just, typically when you see me trying to be funny, I'm probably trying to cope with something. So I just kind of turn into a joke, like, oh yeah, no, this is really for the divers because I'm the African booty scratcher. I gotta walk away now. And he was like, no, that's not what I mean. I'm like, yeah, sucker. But it's fun. And you're a gamer. What do you play?
Oh man. Well, no, I mainly just RPGs, solo RPGs,
Okay.
things multiplayer. I'm really, I just finished playing Ghost of Tsushima. So I play like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Skyrim, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. Just games of that nature. And then I have what else I have? I have a Sekiro, like pretty much like RPG games. I'm not sure. Are you a gamer?
Gotcha. On and off. I'll play like Call of Duty from now and then. I'll play like soccer or like NFL. Yeah, yeah, just basic stuff. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Well, I gotta find you on I gotta find you online. Shoot me your handle. Let's play. Let's shoot some. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a gamer, but I play from time to time.
It's all good. I haven't played Call of Duty. I'm more of a Battlefield type of guy. I haven't played Call of Duty in a couple of years. It's since Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. Yes.
You are very particular because you're like, no, I'm a Battlefield kind of guy. So don't miss me now. I hear you. That's awesome. I am looking forward to your future adventures and dive in. I'm glad we got a chance to talk. I think you're gonna have a really good time in Uttila. And whether here, there, or somewhere else in the world, we're definitely going to dive soon together at some point. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, anything else before we wrap up?
Nah, man, it was good. It was a good conversation. Thanks for having me, man. It was refreshing.
You're hilarious. I got tears in my eyes with some of your comments. But you're like, hey, another black person. What's up, man? Because when I lived in Orange County, I live in LA now, but when I lived in Orange County, there's literally the population of black people is like 0.0002. I know the only other black person in town in the entire Orange County. But wow. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, it was pretty much like that though. But yeah, they're different faces of divers. We're out here. We have distinct, unique experiences for now until we can normalize this. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings trying to breathe on the water where we're not supposed to, or maybe where we started, according to some scientists. But whatever the case, we're out here. We're doing our things. We're having fun. We're checking out everything, and we're swimming with sharks and diving with whales. And here's our story, and we got to own it. And I'm glad you were able to come on and share some of that. So thank you very much, VJ.
There's no problem, man. And you take care, bro.
You as well. Once again, shout out to you. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you as a person, brother.
No worries. Likewise, man.
All right, bro. Bye.
Bye.
Let's go.